Hey Canada, it's Earl. Today the Conservatives stood up in the House of Commons and proposed a clear, simple motion. Cut or pause the carbon tax, especially the industrial carbon tax, to give immediate relief to Canadians who are getting crushed by these skyrocketing gas prices. The Liberals voted no. The motion was defeated. And the 16% increase to the industrial carbon tax went ahead exactly as scheduled. While gas prices at the pump are already $1.80 to $2.10 a liter and they're blaming the war in Iran, the Liberals still chose to raise the tax anyway. Let that sink in. Other countries looked at their people struggling and did the opposite. Australia cut their fuel tax. Spain cut their fuel tax. Italy cut their fuel tax. Portugal cut their fuel tax. Germany cut their fuel tax. Poland put in price caps to protect their citizens. But here in Canada, the Liberals raised the industrial carbon tax by another 16%. This isn't about helping Canadians. This is about following their own agenda. This carbon tax hike isn't some random decision. It's part of a much bigger plan. The same plan that includes the 30x30 land lockup, pushing 15-minute city designs, and all the other sustainable development talk coming out of Ottawa and the UN. They call it Agenda 2030. They call it Building Back Better. I call it putting global targets ahead of Canadian families who are just trying to survive right now in 2026. While regular people are standing at the gas pump wondering how they're going to afford to get to work, the Liberals are raising taxes on energy and industry because it checks another box on their 2030 list. They're not trying to lower costs for you. They're trying to force the transition they want, no matter how much it hurts working Canadians, no matter how many small businesses close, and no matter how many families have to choose between filling the tank and putting food on the table. We're watching businesses leave the country because they can't compete with nations that don't punish their own industry like we do. Farmers are getting crushed by higher fuel and fertilizer costs. Trucking companies are paying more to move goods, so everything at the grocery store costs even more. And still, the carbon tax keeps climbing. While all this is happening, Mark Carney gives himself and his ministers raises. He hikes the tax on alcohol on the same day, and then he tells us we all have to sacrifice for the greater good. Is this really about the environment? Or is it about pushing an agenda that puts 2030 targets and international commitments ahead of Canadian families right now? I'm Earl, just a regular Canadian who's sick of watching this. If this makes you as angry as it makes me, share this post, tag your MP, and tell them you're done with the excuses. Tell them we want lower taxes and lower prices, not more global commitments that make life harder for the people who actually live here. We deserve better than politicians who care more about hitting their 2030 checkboxes than helping the families who elected them. Thanks for listening. Stay awake.